हेलो नमस्कार आदाब सत श्री अकाल कसं काय केड़ो हाल आहे केम छो once again I'm your Abha Jadhav. Welcome you all to your favorite talk show Spotlight with Abha in collaboration with Radio Brainlight. Friends, every time I come here with an astounding personality, with a person who always heading towards success with some solid goals in their mind. But do you know that success never comes easily? So today we have such a personality with us who has achieved his success with a lot of struggle. He has been a fighter throughout his success journey. And today he's on the peak of his success career, though yet to achieve a lot many awards and achievements. But yes, we can say that by looking at his journey, he's definitely moving forward. So help me welcome Jitendra Nath Mehto from Jamshedpur. Welcome Jitendra to my show Spotlight with Abha.
Thanks, Ava Jadhav, for inviting me for your show. And it's really a privilege to be a part of your Spotlight with Ava show.
Before we proceed, let me tell you how Jitendra is, as a person. Initially, when I saw him in our TTOT training, I found him very calm, composed. But when I was into his course of careerpreneurship, I found him totally aggressive, totally focused, very much determined to achieve his goals. So, Jitendra, starting from this, I just want to understand what is this term of careerpreneurship?
Okay, so entrepreneur, we have been hearing, we know that entrepreneur is a long term. So nowadays we are hearing people who are passionate to proceed going with their passion. They're saying passionpreneur, somebody, the dental surgeon, dentalpreneurship. So careerpreneurship is a very big term. It's a career plus entrepreneur is equal to careerpreneurship. So we generally overlook our career. We generally say that we attain some degree, professional degree, or some degrees which will fetch us job. And we don't look, once we get a job, we don't look into the various aspects of the job. So now with this COVID-19 scenario, it has given for us a time to retrospect into us, how to maintain our career well, how to look at the different prospects of our career. We need to, because we have a lot of job losses, what we can see here. We can see a lot of people are having a job cuts. You have a pay cuts. So people are struggling. One or the other reason people are struggling. So now it is the high time we should look at the careerpreneurship. We should treat our career as an entrepreneur. So what I do, I help people to look at their career, how to look as an entrepreneur. Like in an entrepreneur, you have a different, you have legal, you have operation, you have HR, you have compliance, you have different departments there. In or also we have our body, we have our mind, we have relationship, we have finances. We need to take care of those four aspects very well. 4D, what I can say.
So, Jitendra, this was the careerpreneurship when you have thought about to develop, career as a business, career as the entrepreneurship in this time of COVID. But before I proceed, I just want to know that you have been an IT professional, around about half a decade of industry exposure in IT. So, how was your experience in IT sector?
Okay, so it has been a long journey in IT, 1.5 decade in IT. I joined, I did my master's in embedded systems from Manipal. After that, I got into the IT. I got into a captive unit of USA in the retail unit. That was the third largest retailer of US. So I worked there. So initially, I found that IT gives an opportunity to learn teamwork. Team, if you elaborate team, together everyone can achieve more. So you get in IT, you get people from different parts of the world working together. You learn their culture, you learn how to team up. And today IT is a success because of teamwork. I'll tell you one small example. if somebody is struggling with some code or some issues, some people who have completed their task or the assignment what is being given, we sit together and try to debug it. In IT terms, we say debug. When we solve a problem, IT, we debug it. So we try to sit and finally we win as a team. We finish the work. So when somebody is lagging behind, everybody tends to help them out. That is why IT is a huge success, and it has taught me teamwork. It has taught me to respect other people, respect other cultures, respect across the world. I've been in Johannesburg 3 years, so I have seen people, uh, a different thought process. People have a different thought process altogether. When you work in IT, and I'll say anybody who is in any profession should work in the corporate sector, especially the IT. You have a different experience altogether. You slog around for something, it's a different mission. When you accomplish something, you feel the, you have achieved something. So everybody, you say, when you go to the office, you'll see, ah, this is the problem I'm struggling from 2 days. Okay, this is the person, that team, I need to contact him. So you contact him, and after that you get the solution, then you understand, okay, sometimes he is struggling, you also help it out. So it's IT is altogether a teamwork.
Great. That was really fantastic. Now, you have been a past president of Rotaract Club of Bangalore in 2010-11. And I think you have gone through some, you have done one major project as Aram. So can you please tell our viewers what was this project was all about?
Okay, Aram is a sports for the specially able children. It is a disabled children, but we say specially able children. So it was a state level sports meet. We partnered with the Snehadeep Trust for the Blind in Bangalore and Paralympic Committee of India. You know, Olympic committees for the able people. For disabled, we have a Paralympic Committee of India. So Paralympic Committee head office was in Kantirvara Stadium itself. India head office is there. So the entire team, we worked with them day and night, uh, with the Snehadeep Trust and for the with the Paralympic Committee of India. So they try to help us in getting people from across the state, Karnataka state. And this was organized, the day is very memorable because 19th of February 2011, same day the World Cup was starting, Cricket World Cup was starting. And we had a tough time. Brandcom was our consultant for branding and all. We had a tough time getting the branding and all those things, but still we get a lot of coverage. If you go to the Google, you type Aram in my name, you can get the press conferences. In Press Club of India, we had a press conferences. So that was a great event. And when I saw, I used to see here and there one or two handicapped people. But when I saw across the state more than 500 odd uh, disabled people coming around and they're participating in a sport, that was the most memorable event for me as well as the entire Rotaract team in the district 3190. So if you organize such people for the people who are not privileged, the happiness what you get, nothing you can buy in this world. Whatever status you have, whatever money you have, if you do something, and always it is said that if you help someone, the happiness what you get. Sometimes if you feel that you are not well, you go to the doctor, you get all your tests done, and doctor says that you are all right. Abhay, you are all right. But still something is bothering you and you are not happy. In that moment, I'll suggest you try to help someone. Try to help someone. Once you help someone, the happiness what you get, whatever something, some feeling which is bothering you, that will go off, that will evaporate. So that was a very good project. That was really a fantastic project what we had up till now. And if I get chance, I will be organizing in the national level as well. So that was really even I have a dream to organize the especially able children national level meets also. That is still in my memory when the handicapped people, the especially able, what I say, they came to me, sir, I want a photograph with you. I want to. That was really a
I
great
think
moment.
that is really commendable, Jitendra. Here, I just want to say to my viewers that we always search happiness in materialistic things. We always think that, okay, if we have good dresses, we are happy. If we have good house, we are happy. If we have a big car, we are happy. But I think the biggest happiness is the happiness of giving and happiness of sharing what you have with those who don't have. The way
Yeah,
you have
absolutely.
taken this mission of Aram is really commendable. And think how many such specially able children, you have brought happiness on them, on face of them, and they must
Correct.
be blessing you so much. And I think that is the biggest value and biggest, the what we say property, or biggest money we can have from anyone, right? I
Yeah.
think that nobody, nothing can replace that happiness, value
No,
of that happiness. So that is really,
experience cannot be.
yes, yes.
Experience cannot be.
Yes, I think I'm getting goosebumps when I talk about this, because I have also been president of Lions Club in Surat. So
Okay.
even I have been, into some such programs. So I can truly resonate what you are saying and what were your
Yeah.
feelings and what was your experience. So proceeding further, recently your book has been launched, The Seven Mantras of Organic Success. So please share something about it.
Okay. So this COVID has been a blessing in disguise for me and many of us. So we came together for the equity training program, and we thought that let's write a book. So seven strangers came together. If you see the video, came together and they thought of writing a book. So everybody wrote their own experiences. Some who came from the selling from selling. People who came from the people have their own people who had the problem of their financial issues and all. So everybody wrote. So I thought that let's write something about education. So if you remember, we had a Gurukul system of education in the ancient times. So there for 25 hours, we had that time, if you read the old scriptures, there is a divided 25 years of Brahmacharya. You go to a Gurukul and study there. Then you are Grihastha. Then is a Banaprastha, a sannyasa. Then is a Banaprastha. Then is a sannyasa. You take it. So generally, this 25 years, they used to stay with the Guru, and the patronage was from the kings or the families or whoever used to patronage. But Guru used to stay away from the city, and they used to teach every aspect of that. People used to learn culture, they used to learn to respect each other, and all the whatever scriptures and whatever jnana was there that time, what we say gyan was there, we used to learn. But with the advent of the invasions, what we see in India and the British East India Company rule, so that was evaded because British people wanted the sepoys and mutiny. That's my chapter about. They want to work under them, so they didn't want you an entrepreneur. So if you see that in a village, everybody was an entrepreneur. Take it as a dhopi or a barber, everybody was an entrepreneur. They used to execute their task among themselves, and but English people wanted them for the sepoys and the clerks for their to work. So slowly they took out that education and they introduced their own system of education, and we are still following it. And you see the culture of the students what I come up. What again inspired me, I took five campus interviews in January for the National Capital NCR region. I saw they're just getting degrees and they have very good marks. But conceptually, they don't know anything about the subject. When such people come to the corporate industry, it becomes very difficult. It is not all. We should not confuse between examples and exceptions. So most of some exceptions are still there, but most of the examples what we see, they don't know because they were pushed into the education. Unlike the traditional courses, doctors, engineers, lawyers, because we have enough doctors, engineers, lawyers. People who are passionate about, they can go for it. But people who are not passionate about, they should not be pushed into that. That is why that inspired me to come up with an something for the people working on the education sector, guiding the people for the careerpreneurship. Even I was unaware what should I take. Nobody was there. Now I could do a psychometric analysis test of mine. Now I know whatever qualities I know, I can see that 40-page report I have got it. I'm seeing that what I'm good at. So I want kids from a school 5 years to and above, they can have a psychometric analysis test or in whatever test, it may be a questionnaires or a fingerprints. So you will know them what they are good at. If somebody is very good at music, suppose you see Lata Mangeshkar, she is a very good singer. If she was in some other profession, will she do good? No. So again, all these things, people we are the right person in the wrong place. The same thing happens. But since we have to live, so we have to show this. We have to learn, earn and learn. So we get into a job and we do it. But how much do we like it? Are we following our passion and purpose? No. So now is the time. The COVID has given time to us to think over it and go in a direction where we feel the happiness, what you feel, and it is like what we say, the niche. If you can make your niche, what can give you, monetize you, if you can go into that profession, I think that will be, you will be the happiest person. Nothing, uh, people generally ask, Ava, what do you do? People never ask, Ava, how happy you are.
True,
So
true.
now is the time you should ask, Ava, how much happy you are. The first question you were, how much happy you are in your life. That should be the course. That should be the first question to ask anyone before asking, Ava, where have you climbed up your ladder in your career? So it should be how happy you are. So to be happy, you should be doing what you like.
Absolutely, Jitendra, I agree with you. And I also agree with the concept of your topic in the book of Seven Mantras of Organic Success. That education system, what we have gone through, is actually more of a bookish knowledge than of the skilled
Yeah,
knowledge. Right? We were
yeah,
not clear about the concepts of what has been taught. We just completed the syllabus, we passed the exams, we got a
yeah,
degree, and by force or by what we say the need of the time, we came into job.
yeah,
And now I think in the present scenario, now we are thinking that okay, these concepts are still unclear with us, though we have studied in our school time, but still we are unclear
yeah.
about some of the concepts. And because of that, I think at current time, Narendra Modi ji has come with us a new education policy, right? So that is, I hope that will bring some, revolutionary change in the education system. So let's hope for the best when schools will reopen
I
and what
Yeah,
things will
that
come.
also will take time. That is again a part of the execution because system is same. See, whatever good thing you bring, until unless you change the system, the same teachers, the same schools, your mindset has to be changed. So there should be some revolution when you want to implement something. So I'll tell you that social workers like Raja Rammohan Roy and such type of people should come up and you. But the problem is now it's very tough for them to make people, the mindset of the people think their own. And the problem in our life is you realize your mistake when you are too late in your career or too late, because initially people say you never realize it. That's the biggest problem for me, you, and everybody in this world. We realize our mistake when it's very, very late.
Absolutely. But I think today's generation is lucky to have coaches and trainers like you,
Yeah,
yeah, who are there with the concept of careerpreneurship, who are very much aware and very much determined to create that awareness about the education system and how a child should opt for his, passion,
yeah.
because nowadays it has been become very much important to follow passion than to choose any particular field out of force. And today I think parents have also understood that they cannot force any their children
Yeah,
to,
yeah. Many parents are understanding.
yeah,
You
to
have
follow
people
their
have done
dreams.
engineering. I have seen people passing out from engineering or any professional degree. They're choosing some other field. Some technical guy has chosen journalism. So I'll tell you one of the incident. He's a great reader. I have admired that person. So after his MCA, he did 1 year of job in Bangalore, and he didn't want to. He wanted to do journalism. So his parents came and is telling, they call me Jitu Bhai in the circle. So they call me, make him understand. But I told him, let him do whatever. Now he has done his, from JNU, he has done his master's in journal, MPhil he has done, he has completed his PhD, and he's doing well. He's going across the world and is spreading journalism, whatever his field. So people can take a career. I also do help people in the career transition. So whatever you have done till now, you cannot go back to the past. So most what you can do, you slowly take a tilt towards your purpose and passion, and take a speed track so that you go to your, finally when you die, you leave a legacy, or you feel happy and leave this world.
Absolutely. So now I'm just going to take you in your flashback. We have talked about your success and currently what you are doing, but now I just want to take you in your flashback, because when I met you in TPOT, I came to know about you, how much struggle you have faced in coming to this level of your success. So I wish you must share that story of your struggle filled journey with all of us, so that they can get inspired and they can get motivated that even if we don't have anything, we can still do lots of things. So please, Jitendra, let me
Okay.
share that thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I generally belong to a peasant background. So we has a farming, huge farmland, the Damindari system, what you have it. My grandfather never allowed anybody to study much, but my father came out with his brothers, came out and they studied and they worked in Tata Motors. So generally, when my brother, my siblings, my sister, she works in Tata Motors, and my brother, he's in Air Force, 2 years elder. So when my mother was carrying, so my uncle didn't have a child, so he told me that I'll take Babu a year. So I had a good time in the village, drinking cow's milk, the pure cow milk. You have fishes. So we had a big pond and all in Jamshedpur. Near about, that was exactly 50 kilometers from my Jamshedpur house to that my village. So I stayed there. I enjoyed the time. So I think many of my generation have not witnessed this. So there was a village school there. It was a mud house. So one teacher used to come with a dhoti, kurta, and people used to take a sack and sit there and you study there. So yeah, when there is a Saraswati Puja, you say Hathe Kori, you write it in the slate, and that day you start studying. So that way I started my education in that way. And every Saturday, the government of India, they used to give chana, and every Saturday, chana or some of the other thing, they used to badam and chana, they used to give it. They used to soak it and they used to give it. Something or the other, I don't remember exactly. Chana, I remember, they used to get it and used to study one big hall. A teacher used to come and all classes used to study there. So they used to help each other. And so that was for around 6 7 months I studied there. That experience still I remember. After that, you make some excuses, come out. The elder people used to take me, the people who were senior used to take me out, and we used to go there, throw stones at the mango trees and other imli, all those trees, tamarind, and also tamarind. If you, the tamarind, what you get there, you don't get the tamarind, what you get from the tree. So that was a nice time I had it. And my grandpa, grandmother, and the love from uncle. I was the only child there in the village, and my sister was with my father and mother at Jamshedpur. So that was a nice time. That was a great experience. After that, my father came, he's telling this way to education nahi chalega. So he came up and he admitted to me a nursery in a Jamshedpur ICC school. So I started my education from nursery. But that time there was, in 1984, I started my nursery. But that time there was no electricity there. 89, the electricity came. So we used to study in oil lamps. People in Bangalore, I used to tell my people, tell my friends, you have never seen what is Divri. We have studied in Divri also. Actually, I think I got the specs because of the standard 6. I got the specs. We used to fight, brothers. So sister, lamp mein ye nahi hai. Somebody breaks the glass of the lamp, oil lamp. So sometimes you have to study in Divri also. So that struggle was there, and that my house was in a Govindpur. Govindpur is a Basti area in Jamshedpur, beside Tata Motors company, 4 kilometers from there. So we had a tough time, and but I used to top from nursery to 10th standard. I topped in that ICC school. My teachers were like my mothers. They used to like me. So we had a nice time. But only thing is that you had to struggle. We didn't know what we need to do, but I was studying whatever I used to grasp. My grasping power was very high that time. Whatever I used to study once, that used to get in. So I used to do most of my studies. The secret again for topper, I'll tell you, try to learn before the teacher teaches you. So when the teacher teaches, you just try to ask your questions. I used to do it. Maths, whenever I used to get my maths book, I used to finish all my most of my exercises, and in the class, my everything is done. I used to just sit together, and my teacher used to say, "Okay, you have done everything." And the problem which I had problem, I used to ask him, and then my teacher sometimes used to say that even when Jitendra has a problem, that means that problem is a real problem. So he says, out of the when you the classes are over, you come to the staff room, we'll sit together and solve. So we used to sit together. They used to like me. So when the electricity came, again there was a lot of load shedding was there. Again the same life we had it. So finally we managed to pass, and after that I did my plus two. I went to CBSE. People said that CBSE is better for your career. So from ICC I went to, after topping in ICC I went to CBSE. That was again a different, yeah, because in ICC we studied a big As You Like It completely by heart, and every script I know. Still I remember, because when I interview kids, people who have still in ICC, they have As You Like It. They don't remember. I remember. I told I did ICC in 1997, but still I remember it. And you don't remember, you have done in 4 years, 5 years back. So our teachers taught us that when you study something, you should look around, relate to that, like a fan, your bulbs, and all those things. Like I'll tell you a small example how like a definition of a cell. Cell is an organized mass of protoplasm with a central nucleus, with a mitochondria, with the ribosomes in it, and the DNA. That way I learned and I still remember. So you should play. Like Mark Twain said one day, Tom whitewashes the fans who has played. Because Tom was given a work to whitewash the fan on Saturday, and everybody was playing, went to play. Then he said that how to make it happy. Then what he said, when people came up, he's saying, if you give me marble, I'll let you paint. Painting is a great fun. So he was just painting. He was, people started painting. At the end of the day, he had a lot of balls, you have balloons, you have all, and he got his fill. So whatever you treat as play or work, so we should treat our work as play, it will be easy. So that is why for learning, it should be experiential learning. That is again that concept come up. That is also I'm going to introduce the experiential. You should experience and learn. So you never forget the concepts.
Absolutely, Jitendra. That was perfectly, what we say, bullseye. You have heard that today's need is there that we should do the experiential learning. And being a principal of a school, even I, I'm very much into that. And I teach, I tell my teacher, in fact, I train my teachers to go for this experiential learning, because if children, they will learn by doing, it will be there in their mind for a long time. So
Yeah.
hope that in coming days it will be adopted by each and every school, each and every teacher. And if they can understand that teaching is not only completing syllabus, it is inculcating education with values and concepts. So with this no, with this note, we are coming towards the end of our program, Jiten. It has been really lovely talking to you, and thanks for giving me your time from your busy schedule. And want to tell that this program of Spotlight with Abha will be available on my YouTube channel, Abha Jadhav, and also it will be broadcasted on Radio Brainline, where more than 22 countries they will be listening to your interview, this program. So do download the application of Radio Brainline from Google Play Store, so that you can also hear it on radio when it will be broadcasted.
Yeah.
And thank you once again for being here. And friends, before we leave from this episode, once again, I'm promising you to come up with one more successful personality in my next episode. What are your views? How you liked it this episode? What you want more in my episode, in my shows? Please do let me know. If you wish, to come on my show and share your success story, do call me on 7039019353. And also you can send me mail on Radio Brainrhyme. I'll give you all the email and the other details in my uh, coming screen. So till then, I will take leave. You take care of yourself. Jitendra, thank you once again.
It's a
Namaskar.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you for giving me a chance to in the spotlight with our. Have a
thank,
great day.
thank you, Jitendra. So, friends, we'll meet again very soon. Till then, bye bye. Namaskar.